it's 9:30, we'll call the meeting to order. This is a regular meeting of the Young County Commissioners Court, Monday, January 12th, 2015. This is our first meeting of the calendar year. Make note that notice was given in the manner for the time required, and that all members of the court are present. If it's convenient, please stand. Please your invocation and our pledges.
Let us pray. Most gracious Heavenly Father, we so thank you for this day. We ask that you be with people overseas and try to help resolve the problems and lay peace upon these countries. We ask that you guide and direct us and see that we do the right things in the way that you would want it and for the people of Young County. These things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Okay, public comments, presentations. First thing I have on here is additionally received notice this morning of a proclamation issued by Steele Governor Rick Perry regarding Amber Alert Awareness Day. He issued this back, I believe, in 2002, signed that into law. I believe it goes on in a little bit of it to declare that there's been 129 Texas children that have been safely recovered regarding this Amber Alert legislation, and that there's been 720 children across the whole country that have been safely recovered because of this. So our governor has issued a proclamation declaring the 13th, that is tomorrow, is Amber Alert Awareness Day. Also on the announcements agenda, I have this that the auditor made me aware of a few days ago with regard to automatic debt surcharge penalty brought to us by the Affordable Care Act. It's an insurance cost. It's going to come, we're just going to reach into our bank account and get it. $9,198 for those services that they're in.
And this is also, we'll have this out in, this just started this year. Last year, we started with the $2 on the IRS Form 720 that per life cover that we paid last year. Then for this year, it was $3, and that's called a research. And it's an IRS form that we have got per life covered on our insurance.
Our health care is not getting cheaper.
No, sir.
Well, they actually wanted more.
Yeah, at first they had it down as 200 and something lives covered, and I got with Julie Shannon with Group Resources. I said, no, I said, at the most I see 146 because that's what we paid on the $3 for that. And she goes, oh, thank you for refiguring that, and she got the IRS, and they're going to debit us.
All our officials or employees and
all their dependents, whatever lives, yes.
Signed up to it.
And that's for the net taxes. As they come and go.
Okay,
They were covered
about
in a
jail?
certain time period.
Went up there and done a walk around on it with Don Dorsey and the roofer, and pointed out a few things, minor deals, and Mr. Rudd just up everything looks good. There's electrical part that they need to finish hooking up for the band in the side port, and there's some boards that we put up there to hold down the.
is the product personal comes, or is the warranty rider?
One rider has been notified and they're waiting their turn to come in. 7 days set for it, but they haven't got one set. But they've got their name in the hat. they were bombarded there toward the end of the year.
Flat roof drainage been through?
The drainage looks a lot better on it. And it's, you know how the other one's a dingy black color roof? It's just solid white. There's no granulars on it, it's all smooth, which it shouldn't have any places for it to pop it up or anything too. There's a trail to all the air conditioners up there
To keep people
to
off.
keep people off the main roof.
They build up the drains on there, just units.
The drains, we talked about, some of them, one or two of them go back into the drains themselves. But the reason that the other one was taken out was because in the summertime, that water is force fed from that unit now and put back in that drain. But the temperature change from what it is underneath there and what it is from the outside caused condensation problems, and that's when we started getting much leaks in there. It wasn't so much the leak, I think, as much as the condensation problem that they's had, causing it to sweat.
Was it creating more water than they could dispose of?
Well, it was on the outside. That's right.
Okay.
So, but there's several of them that's been taken off and done away with. And just use those other deals. We talked a bunch about that up there that day too, you know, we couldn't do the work with that change.
Well, putting water on the roof.
It's all going off the roof. I didn't realize that unit was force fed. I thought it was gravity, but it's not, it's force fed.
It's a small pump or some sort of reservoir that
Evidently it has some kind of reservoir. It doesn't, because it's, the way it's designed, you know, you think, well, the vent on it, the vent would plug, but it wouldn't work without that vent plugged. But because it's force fed, it has to be plugged to be able to force it on out.
were all the systems operable.
We still need to go in there and put some kind of, take those plugs out and put some bleach or something down them lines every so often to kill where algae it is growing in there.
So some PM needs to be done.
It sure does. And I don't know if we could, somebody from one of the precincts could do that every so often, save us a little money or what.
We could rotate it around the quarter or whatever.
All we'd have to do is get a gallon jug and
Bleach,
go up and pour it in there and go on.
work on it.
We should see a noticeable difference in our heating and cooling bill.
The white roof will make a difference.
And the metal roof should too, because of the insulation package is unpackaged.
Anything else with regards to the items that we have on here?
Is that lady, see, I think Turner Point had that, thank you, there in our package. It's on our package here.
Okay.
All it was, this is for the donation.
the donation.
The $2,500.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's, $2,500 to the turning point. We paid early in October, it was out of this 15 budget, that we get budgeted for. Yeah, well, it's just my package, get it in there.
Also, Nelson Young County Junior Livestock Show this weekend. Everybody go out and participate. With your checkbook. Checkbook.
Yeah, sure they still need money for themselves.
Yeah. Okay, is it, anyone out here have any, come forward here?
I'm about that way. Some of you know me, some of you don't. I've been volunteering here for Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, and 4-H for a long time now. My concern is the old ag barn. I know, I've talked with John about it, I've talked with Mike about it. It's the upkeep on it, but the upkeep has not been upkept, so that's the problem with it. There are so many kids that are gonna lose a place to participate in 4-H and stuff, that if that's gone, there's no other place in this town for them. And we have upgraded our shooting sports program considerably. We've now got for rifles and archery over $20,000 worth of merchandise this last year from NRA. And, you know, that will just devastate our program. I know the problem is the money we save, but if this was a baseball or a football thing, it wouldn't be a money problem. It would probably be redone or rebuilt. That's my opinion. And I think most of you would agree with that. But we're gonna put a lot of kids, say, out on the street because there's no place to practice, no place to do. We have 15, 20 every week for archery and rifles and 6 to start. Jimmy had rifles for a long time. We also have new 22s, new shotguns, ski thrower, all that stuff that we acquired on this grant. You know, we put over $20,000 into this, and we need y'all's help on this a little bit.
What do you shoot inside that building?
Archery,
Do you have any rifle sports that are also shot inside?
no,
It's archery only.
oh, right, yeah, well, plus, we have membership rallies out there. There's all kinds of things we have. The horse club used it just last weekend. But that's gonna cut all that out. Of course, I understand that the other facility is gonna be upgraded, but I'm afraid it's not gonna be upgraded for shooting archery. You know, there's a lot of kids over the years that use that building that most people don't even know about. And like I say, it's not a major thing like football or baseball, but it's important to these kids.
How often is it used?
We shoot every week,
Once a week?
once a week, except when it's too cold like it's been last week.
And then that building's also where you store all your,
Yes, it is, in the room up front. I have probably $15,000 worth of archery equipment in there. We have bows.
could there be a different kind of arrangement for the storage of those things?
Well, it would have to be where we shoot because we can't haul that stuff everywhere. The targets probably weigh 80 pounds. And it's very convenient there, you know, we just roll them out there, set them up and shoot. But if we had somewhere else to shoot, it would be a problem every week of an hour or two of hauling the stuff back and forth. So I just want to put that out there, y'all, that we got a lot of kids that are gonna be put out.
Have you talked to them out there at the arena? See if y'all can use the arena?
I don't know about that. It is such a hard deal to use that out there, where they want us to put our stuff. We did it for a while. We put our stuff on the west side, had to roll it up, hop it into the arena, take it across the arena, so he can set it up. It takes a lot of work and a lot of time. Plus, we also are bringing in March, we'll have the indoor shootout arena. We'll have over 200 families come into Graham, Texas. And I'm sure most of you get a quite check a month, how many families come in here, motels, eating places, and such. This is something that's got to be a pretty big thing here now, and I would hate anybody to bring that down because we do get a lot of people coming in here every year.
So you're gonna transport your equipment from down here to out there?
Do what?
You're gonna transport all your equipment from down here to
No,
out there?
no. We use 12 of our targets and all the other archery clubs within this area bring. We had, on the line last year, we had 50 kids shooting at one time. 50 targets. And there was 4 targets to target.
There was 4 targets per
We had
target.
over
We did 2
200
targets.
kids shooting, and you know, like I say, I realize this is not football or baseball. If it was, we'd have a new facility probably, but we don't. So, you know, and, that's what I got to say, and I've talked to John with it several times, and Mike. We need your help on that, if you could help us any way. There's a few minor leaks out there that I'm concerned about, but other than that, the big long part out there makes no difference when we're shooting archery. We have some leaks in the main room and one leak in the storage room.
If I might say something?
Yes,
I totally, you and I have visited about it, and I recognize the problem. The elephant in the room is this: when the arena was built, all the donations came in because many people thought it was going to be a youth facility.
but it's
And that
not.
was part of its intention. It has somehow progressed to be something different, where it's not as user-friendly for the youth in the 4-H programs, what have you, as it maybe should be. The old ag barn does continue to serve a lot of uses, and you're probably right. What do you see as a solution to that problem? You see the problem. What do you see as a solution to it?
If we could get someone to build us another facility, you know, or fix a few leaks out there, a few electrical problems, I'd be happy with it. You know, I know that David rented, he's got inconsistent with that now. But I don't know how many families are renting it now for reunions and things like that. I didn't look that up because I'm more interested in the kids than the money. You know, we are in 4-H, we're self-funded. With our Parents Club, give us so much a year to operate on. If we need more than that, our little kids have to go out and do fundraisers for it. You know, we're not like a government entity that can say, okay, we're just gonna raise your taxes for it. But we have to go out, and these kids work hard. Matter of fact, I've got my youngest son right now is in archery. He's 8 years old. He'll be in rifle at the other start, and he's showing rabbits this week. So, you know, there's a lot of interest in 4-H in this county. And I just hate to see part of it go away, especially when we finally got the equipment for these kids, whether they have a bow, an arrow, or know anything about it. They can come out there for us. We will teach them how to shoot. We will furnish a bow for them. And I guess that's all I got to say. I just need y'all's help with this. You know, I hate to see these kids put out on the street.
I want to add something to that.
Well, she's,
Well, I'm with archery and Cub Scouts.
yeah, she's one of my horses.
State your name, please.
My name's Catherine DeVaughn, and we also use that for Cub Scouts. And we have our Pinewood Derby workshop, and in June last year we used it for our day camp, week-long day camp, and it was perfect. We were able to, when it rained all that week, we could still have our day camp. That kids pay the council to come to day camp. It provides them a week-long activity, you know, from 9 to 3 we're there. They get a shirt and hat and patch, they do BB guns, they do archery. And because of our archery equipment being out there, last year we were able to shoot our 3D targets. And when it rained, we were able to be inside. We were able to use the concessions down at the baseball field. And so that was really helpful. So I'm wanting to have it again this year there. But if something happens and it's not there in June, we won't be able to have day camp. And this is for like 20 kids plus sometimes we have 2 or 3 younger brothers or sisters that run around and participate also, and then the parents. And that's all volunteer work. And we had it 2 years before at a church, but that church was having issues. And so if we don't have it at the ag barn, we have to find somewhere else. And it's really hard to find somewhere else where we can shoot BB guns and archery that's within, you know, that can be approved by the State Department comes down and approves our day camp location, they approve everything we do. The council comes in and they approve everything we do, location, electrical, they approve. They say, oh yes, this is a safe facility, you can shoot here, or you can have day camp here. And, we do stuff for archery out there. I mean, and that keeps our stuff, like Bo was saying, if we have to shoot somewhere else, problem is we have to store all that equipment, and we do have to transport it from one place to the next. And with that state indoor shoot coming, that really helps that we're here practicing archery. I mean, right now we're having to struggle trying to find someone to shoot our shotgun, because there's not a facility for us to do shotgun. And we got equipment through the NRA grant, Friends NRA grant, for this equipment. And if we don't use the equipment, or if the clubs ever fall through, we have to return this BB guns, the archer, not BB guns, but the 22s, we get the shotguns. We got a trap machine. It's $20,000 with equipment we got for free. And if our clubs fall through because there's nowhere to practice, we have to return it.
Well, other than storage, that's kind of irrelevant for that facility. I mean, that's
Well,
what
we use it.
You're not shooting shotguns in there.
No,
you're
we're
shooting
not.
rifles in there.
Right, but we do our archery stuff.
Shooting archery, and that's it.
Right.
The building.
See,
They do have another grant. The Friends NRA does have another grant. They have a range grant that you can apply for. It has to be used for a nonprofit like 4-H, or the Scouts can even use it. And the problem is you have to own the land and submit all this paperwork, and they come through and prove everything and see if you have all the paperwork saying that you own the land, or the city, or whoever owns the land. And there is that grant you can apply for. I mean, if it's used for a facility for, like 4-H, they can, they have that grant available. I mean, the grants, we're fixing to vote on in January to see if we get more stuff. And, but there is another grant available.
see, I see a win-win on that deal out yonder. Has anybody talked to David Castile, or?
I will Thursday.
Because here's what I see in that deal. You need a place to shoot shotguns,
We do.
okay? There's a place at the end down there that you could go out there and set up and shoot. And you shoot the clay pigeons that are biodegradable. They shouldn't cause any problems with anything. I don't believe there's any kind of houses or any kind of facilities back behind there that would have a problem with. They also, too, on the days it's too cold to be able to shoot, there are heat in there to do it.
The heat's only in the front room.
Now, there's heat out there in the
It
day.
don't work.
The heat doesn't work and the air doesn't work.
Where?
In the ag barn.
Well, he's
I'm talking about out here.
He's talking about outside.
Oh, the activity center?
No, he's talking about outside, the back end of the building, I think what you're talking about.
Well,
You're talking about out there on Rodeo Road?
Well, I'm talking about shooting shotgun for that, but I'm talking about out here at the arena.
Oh, the ring, yeah, they got heat
They
there.
got heat.
They got heat in there, yes.
That's what I'm saying.
We
As
just,
far as needing someplace to store your stuff, you can get you one of them 20 by 8 shipping containers. I don't think you had a problem if you put it out there real close by, maybe even on the inside. But I think if you just talk to him and tell you, he's kid-oriented also. I know David is. If you'll talk to them and see what you can work out with them. I think you got a good facility right there that's already there that will make it an excellent opportunity, even for your Boy Scout deal.
we can't, I tried last year to do it. It wasn't available because we have to have it for a week-long thing, and it wasn't available, and we didn't have the money to pay. There's no money for rental fees for day camp.
Okay.
So I tried doing that last year. And so, I don't know if they've let us do it this year, but last year, it's something where we don't have the money to pay for it. Because day camp went up this year, it's $92. It's for a whole week, so each kid has to pay $92. There is a scholarship that they can apply through the council for, where it pays $50, and they have to come up with the other $50. But if we only have a budget of how many kids are there. The council wants us to have double the kids what we have. Well, between Graham and Alney, and then there's the LDS pack, so we have 3 packs. we have 20 kids that come to day camp in the city. So we have to pay for a location to rent, we have to raise our day camp fee. And the kids have to cover whatever it costs to rent. So they have to come up with the $92 and whatever else it would cost. Say if it's $150, we'd have to dump, $150 divided by 20 kids. They struggle coming up with the $92, and the last couple years it's been $85.
What if you was to go out into Fort Belknap and have day camp?
We don't have the adult volunteers to do it, and you can't shoot out there, it's a state park. You can't shoot BB guns or archery.
It's not a state park.
Well, okay, we looked at that last year, and the problem is there's not a clear enough space, it's not big enough to do the BB gun and archery because there's houses surrounding it, and we have to have a way to block it all off, and there's not space for a range. Because I was gonna use that, because the November before we went out there, and I looked at it, and if it rains, we can't have day camp.
I hate to cut this off. These are non-action items and they're comments and presentation. We've been spending enough time on this. We will take all of your supplications and pleadings under advisement whenever this topic is brought up and discuss it again. I appreciate your presence here and
Thank you for
we'll
your
certainly
time.
take it under consideration, all that you say.
Do you think you'll make a decision before June?
I don't have any idea, man.
Well, because I have to know this week.
I'd say continue your scheduling as it is, and if something changes between that, it'll have to be adjusted, but this is just an item that's been lightly discussed in a meeting or two past, and it's nothing that we've got centered on or that we're that I can see we're planning on taking immediate action on. So it's there's going to be some more discussion with regard to that. We appreciate your presence and all that you've said to us, all your pleadings and supplications, and we'll take those under consideration.
Thank you.
Very well, thank you. Let's move on to item number 4. Consider county clerk's minutes from previous meeting, December the 22nd. Note that there's a need to change item number 1 there to indicate that all members of the corporal present. And that,
I suggested changes to K on that, and she already made them.
okay, very good.
Change my name.
Changed your name?
I'm changing your right.
She made changes on item 7 also, and you make changes on item 4, is that right?
Okay, entertain the motion to, well, we won't wait on that till we get those on next one. We just want to approve them with noted changes.
Let's do it without any change.
Okay.
So moved.
I'll second, noted changes. You've already made those changes, and
So we have a motion by Commissioner Wiley and second by Commissioner Rogers to approve minutes of December 22nd, 2014 meeting with noted corrections. All in favor? Carried. Okay, item number 5. Consider security pledges on security updates on pledges.
2,434,738.48.
I have a second on that motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Wiley, second by Commissioner Rogers to approve the updated security pledges as presented. All in favor? Carried 5-0. Okay, Okay, item number 6, auditors, budget amendments, 10-7, consider payment of vouchers.
Okay, on vouchers,
No amendments.
no, sir. Today's run is kind of large, and I'll explain some of the costs in here. $378,247.56. We went ahead and paid, one thing, I got another bill from Basic IDIQ for the roof out there, $195,031.39, which is in on this voucher run. We paid the rural fire department $40,000, of which we'll still owe them $30,000. The city of Grand fire contract was due $24,000, so that's some of the big items on today's run. I also, and I told the commissioners I'm giving them a copy of today's cash position. I paid the rest of the first quarter. I paid them a partial $40,000. I had the money to go ahead and pay them the rest of theirs, which all of them were a little over $80,000 apiece. So that money is in their budget. So it's not out of, what they have coming out today is not out of your money on your cash position until we run the checks. It's out of your budget, but not your cash position.
So no real vouchers.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Wiley and second by Commissioner Sines to approve the vouchers payable as presented. All in favor?
Yeah.
Carried 5-0.
While we're on that, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
With the Armendariz trial starting
Yes, sir.
this week, what is the financial overview of the county on that situation? How are we gonna handle it and what way?
What I'm doing on, because we're having to pay hotel bills for all everyone that has to go. I've set up direct billing with one of the hotels, the other one I'm still working on yet, where the Attorney General's office is staying. It's gonna be substantial. Kim Reeves is leaving today to go there. I mean, because you're talking meals, you're talking mileage. Of course, when they go, she's just gonna be there for several weeks, just her, but later on, the judge and Beverly will also be there. But like I said, we have to pay the defense, we have to pay for their costs, I understand which I haven't even talked to those lawyers yet about their hotels. I have been in contact quite closely with the AG's office. They have 2 lawyers, 2 investigators, and several witnesses that will pay hotel room and expense. Well, I think just hotel room, they have to pay expenses on that.
That's all court-appointed defense, I suspect.
And it is, and from what I understand, I mean, like I said, I have not talked to them yet. I was hoping to before this all started, but they haven't. But we'll be responsible for their hotel room. Also stay.
Are they mostly Metroplex?
Well, that's what I understood, but then when I was talking to one of the, when I talked to the AG's office about the hotel they're in, I said, look, I had the direct billing set up over here, and they said, we can't stay there, the defense is staying at the one so I don't know what the deal is there, but it's gonna be just hotel rooms alone. We're getting government rate, but,
So these are expenses that we're paying that we have no direction on.
we have
control
we
whatsoever.
have no control over them. The AG's office, we don't have to pay them anything, we just have to pay for their expenses. The court-appointed lawyers, it's gonna be very costly. I got in contact with, I was in contact with the auditor of the Tarrant County last week, because I want to know what other charges that we're gonna have, we'll have jury. Oh, yeah, and so she had, the fellow that's in charge of that, he called me. Their costs may not be as bad as what we expected. On the jury, we may just have to pay for whatever they don't get reimbursement from the state, which that would help us out a lot. And there's some other costs. He's supposed to get back with me this week and kind of give me a better idea of those costs, but it's gonna be costly.
This began in April, May 2011. And today, not to shock anybody, but it's already cost close to $500,000, I believe.
Now, just like I told y'all last time, I think on that last run, 150,000 was part of it.
But that,
It's supposed to take them 4 to 6 weeks to pick the jury. And then the trial, I guess, is expected to last 4 to 6 weeks.
So, I mean, we're looking, what they have hotel rooms reserved for is, to March, so.
This, by the way, happened a year or two before we had the opportunity to join into the
Yes.
public defenders. I don't know what you call that, insurance or what it is.
So that,
it is.
So that would have been a great benefit had we've been able to join into that prior to this.
Don't get the gas road, do it.
It-
Don't get the gas road, again.
Don't post any checks.
yeah. But he is, Armendariz is now in Tarrant County's custody. We'll have some out-of-county housing there, which after talking to this man last Friday may not be as high as what we thought, but he's supposed, like I said, he's supposed to get back with me this week.
35 a day.
He, see, I'd heard at one time maybe 85 a day, but he's saying between 40 and 60. So, like I said, I'll know more once we get a contract.
Plus anything he tears up.
Yeah,
You know, we'll be responsible for,
his actions.
Yeah, I've heard that he's already tried to get himself off.
I think, you know, they have more maximum security type cells that, so maybe we won't have any of that.
Yeah, I think our transport officers that went down there might impressed with that unit down there. Okay, moving on to item number 8.
Presses on mine.
Consider extension agent Brad Morrison and Penny Barron to the Warren Penny Barron request for a reimbursement $749.84 and $59.95 respectively.
Second thing.
Have a motion by Commissioner Rogers, second by Commissioner Sykes, to approve that request for refund as presented. Those refunds as presented. All in favor? Carried. Okay, item number 9, acknowledge the deputation of county clerks, that'd be Maria Gonzalez and Alicia Henderson. So, got it. Have a motion by Commissioner Pruitt, second by Commissioner Lally to approve those deputizations or acknowledge those deputizations. All in favor? Aye. We can actually have to approve them, I believe. Item number 10. Consider elected officials, employees' bonds. We'll take all of the elected officials and the employees. These are the bonds that need to be approved by the Commissioners Court. Robert D. Dial, Young County Justice of the Peace Precinct 1. Jamie Freeds Land, Young County District Clerk. Ann D. Daly, Young County Treasurer. John C. Bullock, Young County Judge. Kay Horton, Young County Clerk. Those are the 5 elected officials that the court needs to approve on their bonds. And on the employees, Aaron Elizabeth Harvey, County Attorney's Office. Marcia F. Sumter, Office of the County Auditor's Office. Timmy Lynn Hall, County Court Coordinator. Stephanie Dale Crail, Assistant Treasurer.
I move we approve all the bonds mentioned in this agenda.
See,
We have a motion by Commissioner Sykes and a second by Commissioner Wiley to approve all aforesaid mentioned elected officials and employees' bonds. All in favor? Carried 5-0. Now, these next two on item 11, I don't think that's action necessary by the court. They're required to be approved by the county judge, and when I get that bond, I'll sign it. I'm just gonna put on there, county judge approves. Those are Kenny R. Wiley, Commissioner Precinct 4, and Matthew C. Pruitt, Young County Commissioner Precinct 2. Okay. Item number 12. Acknowledge local government officer conflicts disclosure statement. That's for Jimmy Wiley. We need to acknowledge that, I think, and I believe that it should be filed probably with the oaths and bonds in the county clerk's office. Okay. I'll move that we approve, that we acknowledge such filing.
second.
Okay. We have a motion from myself and a second by Commissioner Pruitt to acknowledge the filing of the officer's conflicts and disclosure statement. All in favor? Carried 5-0.
Secretary. Oh, I need to.
That's right. Okay, that's 4-0-1. Make that no correction. 4-0-1. Item number 13. Consider Young County Commissioner's court order setting terms of court for civil, criminal, and probate matters. That's as per section 26.002 of the Government Code. It lists those terms.
Every 3 months.
As February, March, and April, May, June, and July, August, September, October, and November, December, January. I move that we set those terms.
I'll second that.
Okay. I have a motion from myself and a second from Mr. Sykes to establish term 1, term 2, term 3, and term 4 as previously described. All in favor? Carried. And Ms. Clerk will leave your original order in there to sign. Item number 14, acknowledgement appointment of Cheryl Roberts as Young County Auditor. You have in your packet the order from District Judge Steve Bristow and Cheryl's officer statement and oath as filed immediately following the swearing in of elected officials on January 1. I move that we accept such, or that we acknowledge such appointment.
Second.
Yeah. We need to put some provisions in there. Who had that second? Okay, all in favor? That was Texas Local Government Code 8402, by the way, where that call for the district judge. Okay, item number 15 is consider quotes for Fort Belknap residents private fencing. Find in your packet one from L.W. Birch Welding and Fence Company. In the amount of $7,500, and one for Lonsdale LLC in the amount of $10,500.
I also tried to, Garcia, I don't even know if they do privacy fences, but I called him.
Yeah. I had to call him. And I don't know who Mr. Bond is, but, in our packets, the way Birch did his, is he took everything out, and we don't have nothing on this. I'd like to make sure we're comparing apples to
Sure.
apples before we even look at something. It may be a little cheaper, but
And I could
let's
try,
have everything that this has.
I can try to call Garcia again also, he just never returned my call.
I think we should just, right now, just settle on it. Hold it over to the next one.
Take that for further review.
Yeah, and, cause I'd like a, like I said, a detailed quote on that one.
Okay,
I want apples to apples.
Okay.
Make sure we get it right, and then maybe you get Garcia too.
okay.
Thank you.
Does Garcia have the privacy fences?
Yes,
Does he? I thought he did.
yes. He's done one some here in town.
Well, I visited with Bobby Wilson on that. Of course, he knew Birch did a lot of that around here, and that's kind of what his primary business. These other, he said, there's a lot of good ones out there, but all of those builders at the current time, they use those privacy fences for fill-in jobs. Like I said, they're all so busy right now that they could do it. You couldn't, probably couldn't get them a quote, or you couldn't get them on it.
Are we under a time constraint?
I don't think so.
I'll start with
I think we can get a better price on it if we're not getting to a pinch. We'll have to hurry up.
Well, I might look at some alternative rather than cedar privacy fence. Yeah.
Well, or the white pine. Ain't it? That was cedar.
What's the main objective, just to keep the kids from getting out, or from somebody getting in, or?
It's just so open that
There's no
I think it's privacy.
Discussion of the price.
Because Becky said that people's come looking in her back window. And, yeah,
How big an area is this? I guess it-
that's a pretty good area, but
Right, or
we got off. But it's including the propane tanks and the sewer tank.
Birch,
Inside the yard, so.
Yeah, it's inside the privacy fence.
Is it around the house?
see that backyard is 300 linear feet, the other one calculated is 290 linear feet.
There you go. See?
So we wanna go to the house of pine?
10 feet.
Or-
Well, one of them calls for, Birch's calls for 6-foot cedar.
Okay.
You said wood.
Birch is also dictates how many gates and what kind.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Equals what's here. Maybe we should go cheaper wood. And,
The only thing about wood, it's upkeep.
Yeah, cedar.
Yeah, that probably need to be sealed, even if it was cedar, probably be sealed every 3 to 5 years.
It's something we've always had a problem with.
well, it'd be their job out there for a bit, is keeping the fence. It's not like they're killing themselves out there.
The backyard can be this big.
They probably need to go from the house back to the south wall fence, property fence. If it's in the back anyway.
And I think we got a better off, it'd be pretty good. Because it includes that shed back there. And then it includes, like I said, the sewer tank and the gas, the propane tank, the house, which that kind of cleans it up, the area too, getting all that out of the way. Makes it look more clean.
This is an unbudgeted expense out there.
Right, instead of a privacy, or just a no privacy fence,
can use that.
Might discuss that chain link or something like that.
Yeah, could be a hybrid fence with this smaller privacy area and chain link around the rest of the remainder. You know, we're going from years of not having anything to doing it need to take out that big bite that this way.
One of the things there with previous tenants, I guess, two before, say there were Becky and Eddie, all their children were grown and gone. Had grandchildren there once in a while. Then Jimmy and Judy's children were all gone. Rex Gillentine, for a while, they had a child who kind of grew up out there. So there was a time when he was pretty small. And he became, I guess, almost became that old. But most of the tenants out there, you know, they either didn't have any children and they were well at
The little ones. Is there intention to give them privacy in the yard or to keep people from looking through their windows?
I think, yeah.
So,
There is about $7,000 in this donation money that we can use some of that. $7,000 in that donation money.
What about, do they make a privacy type chain link fence?
yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like some of the, I've seen swimming pools that have
Yeah.
that chain link with that stuff through it. Or if we're just trying to provide a barrier to keep people away from the house, I mean, we could do something as rustic as a Cedar State fence.
Well, kids can
Something
get
like
out of that.
Huh?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Come
The liquor
Where
wire.
was another one?
Search a few options.
That would look more like an old timey fence.
Yeah, I was gonna wonder if there's any, historically with putting up a cedar fence, I'd have 5-foot chain link. Y'all say 5 foot? High chain link, or stick wire block, or cedar stays in it. There you go.
Razor wire over the top.
Razor wire. Razor wire.
That'll keep those kids in.
Yeah, put it on the inside of it.
Maintain that stem wall, I think 4 foot would probably work. The stem wall would be too big to put it on. Something like faux fence, 5 foot or something.
I agree with you, I think we should table it for looking at alternatives. And
I still think that stem
you
wall
can
would
put
be
it on that, or the stem wall, that's.
5-foot chain link.
No. 4-foot chain link, and then like you said, still with the cement around it. That's what you're talking about, right?
Let's consider a steel fence, I mean, a metal fence too, just to see what the price is on it.
What kind?
Metal fence.
Oh, okay.
Just to see. If we had that one,
4 foot?
we wouldn't have to have concrete.
4-foot
metal,
chain link, 4-foot metal, 6-foot metal.
I'd say 6 foot metal. That's probably it, honestly, a sheet.
You can get it, you can get it cut in sheet size sheets you want.
Oh,
But here's the thing, I don't care, y'all tell me, but here's the thing, the privacy part about it is, if you're 5 foot tall, or 6 foot tall, you can look over 5 foot fence.
Yeah, but you still got that footer down there that's, like John Charles said, 6 foot, 6 foot.
So if you use it, if you use metal, you don't have to.
I'm not concerned with walling those people in, I'm just concerned with keeping people back away from their house, like a modicum of privacy that, you know.
I like to see that curve underneath it
Yeah, it makes it cleaner when you're
too.
mowing and stuff.
Keeping the dogs from digging out, might be weak. You might not be able to step outside the ground table.
That is maybe the problem is always the case out there.
I don't have to fit
It's
it.
among other country functions.
Or living in the country.
You're gonna move to table for further consideration
Yes, sir.
and options. Who's gonna second that?
I'll say that.
And you see we got 7.
We have a motion by Commissioner Pruitt, second by Commissioner Sykes, to table item number 15 to a future date for further consideration and options that may be available. All in favor? Carried.
You got $7,000.
Yeah, and
Didn't we,
talking about air conditioning
Yeah,
and
we
stuff at
already-
this time.
Oh.
we were gonna put those air conditioners in those buildings.
That's right.
We already spoke that thing for that.
Okay, I just,
I'm gonna call a 5-minute recess before we take up this item. There's 20 minutes till 11, we'll call the meeting back to order. Move down to item number 16. This is to consider SO request status change and pay for dispatch supervisor. I'll turn this over to Chief Deputy Boodarf and I'll let him explain exactly what they want to do.
Today I'm asking for y'all's consideration on creating a dispatch supervisor position, which means having a budget line for it. Teresa McGee, our dispatch supervisor, she has been for a long time now. She's been making the same pay as all the other dispatchers from entry level on up. She's been with us for a long time. She's doing us a great job. What I'd like to do today is move money from the part-time budget, which is rarely used, $2,500 on top of her salary of $28,324. Bring her salary to $30,824.
They're effectively want to zero out
Yes.
full-time.
Part-time. We don't have a part-time position with the NASA. Now, they explained to me today that occasionally when Joyce would sit in dispatch and cover a shift, that they would use some of those funds for part-time to cover her pay. Joyce is no longer with us, and we are full staff in dispatch, 2 per shift.
the way I see it, it's their money.
Well, I don't know. We discussed salaries and raises at budget time. I think we gave, 3% across the board raise to all employees in the county. And here we are altering that schedule and decision to pay those employees that money by moving to $2,500. It seems like this has anything to do with Ms. McGee and her value to the church.
And the position itself, I mean,
It's
there's
just
a lot going on with
it's how
that.
we're doing it.
And it's something that should have been done a long time ago.
It should have been done, but it should be done at the proper time of the year and the proper manner.
I haven't had a chance to.
To take this money and maybe, is there any way that we can salary it up or give this to her in any kind of a bonus manner rather than a salary and then rectify the salary situation come budget time and fit it into your budget?
How is it any different though from what the county attorney's office does and the DA's office does when they give their people supplements?
We don't have control over that money.
Forfeiture money or-
Money's just not required for, over us.
But how is it, I'm just asking this, like if I run out of money on my culverts and I borrow money from another line item, how is this not the same? You're just moving money
Well, this
around.
is, but it's salary,
This
and
is
that's
salary.
why it needs to come before y'all for,
But do you understand what I'm
If it's
saying?
culverts, it's different things, if material is different thing, but it has to do with a per hour basis, it's different.
Those monies that were given as supplements in the 2 or 3 or 4 different settings that we have for that. The elected official directs how that supplement is to be issued, then writes the county a check out of a particular fund that they have control over.
And we figure all of
And then is
that
that added on to their salary or is it added on as other pay?
is added on as a supplement. It's a supplement line and they reimburse all the expenses that go with it. The retirement, the county's side of the expenses.
now this 2,500, it already has,
It's all figured.
it's already figured into the retirement and the FICA lines already, the 2,500.
The elected officials, we can't reset those, except one time a year, and that's our budget. These other ones, they can be, the court does have authority to manage that or raise.
Does he appreciate that before?
Whatever the year goes on.
Yes, what's the difference in pay between
regular
Like
rate in for, what,
1,500?
2,000?
About
This would bring her salary comparable within $3 of what Joyce is making as the admin assistant. And she has much more responsibility handling PLITs and all the stuff for DPS. She's our TAC officer and let alone supervising that many employees.
Do you know how many dispatchers do you have?
8.
8?
Yes, sir.
How many new ones?
2.
Who are they?
Ben Wilbur and Janice Baker.
And this goes back to what we said. I mean, you know, do the step pay like we used to before. I always was really good work on
BUR?
it.
Yes, sir.
One thing about Joyce, she has all the, she does all the scheduling. Before, there was a different administrator that did all that. Now she's taking all those duties over, wasn't she? Not Joyce, Teresa.
Before BJ, had his hand in dispatch a lot and really had her hands tied where she couldn't supervise effectively. You know, there were a lot of employee conflicts created because of that. When I took chief deputy, I turned over that responsibility to her. So the chain of command, you know, you have Teresa, myself, and the sheriff, and that responsibility is hers unless something else arises.
That's what I was fixing, going to bring up, that supervisor position used to be chief deputy's responsibility. Is that in your job description?
Oh, but
To be dispatched?
that's part of the chain of command, so it goes through that first line supervisor, which was Teresa, and it goes to me and the sheriff.
And BJ always tried to do it when he was here.
Is this not active supervision?
Can I help him with that? When Carl was here, the other one, he let somebody else do all that. The only thing that the chief deputy did with Carl, the chief deputy was just, that's almost given he did.
It's not actually.
BJ took
It's
everything.
not actually written on, it's not actually written on in the job description. It's dispatch supervisor.
I don't think so.
Your supervisors make $2,281 more than the other guys.
I don't know where you're going with that. As a supervisor, we got our forms and pay more.
And something else to consider is exempt status. Being a supervisor, she's not. So, I mean, right now, she's not. So that would also be, could be a benefit to the county as well.
So therefore, she would be eligible for overtime.
Exactly. It's always, you know, we've got great people working in this county, but always when you make salaries dependent on a personality rather than a position, you run into problems. And we need to make the salary commensurate with the duties and responsibilities of the position and hope that the person we hire for those does an exceptional job.
Would you want to hire, if that position was vacant, would you propose to hire a new dispatch supervisor at the same rate you're paying your entry-level dispatchers?
No.
Okay, that's where I'm trying to go with this. Well, right now, she's making the exact same thing.
No, because the responsibility.
That's just the way this county is, though.
Well,
We've been talking about.
but the experience would have to be commensurate with the salary.
Absolutely.
You know, and of course, in hiring new people, you never know what you're getting until they've been in that position for a while. So I never like hiring anyone at the previous salary of the person that replaces them. So they may look good on paper, but they may not perform in such a way.
Dispatch is running a lot more smoothly. We have to have 2 people at all times on there. I mean, it is,
We, like I said, we're full staff, running 2 dispatchers. 24 hours a day.
Teresa's been here 20-something years, hasn't she?
And she's making the same money as every other dispatcher.
Yes, sir.
And that's what me and Mike's always talked about. It's not fair for somebody that's been here for 20 years, or maybe the same amount for somebody that's been here for a month. Well, that's not fair. That's why we should have a step pay.
And have that much more responsibility added to her for daily duties. So.
If this, like I said, if we're not altering our budget by increasing salaries away from when you presented budget to us and told us what you were gonna pay everybody. Now here you are in January telling us that we really didn't mean that in October, you know?
I see where you're going with that.
It probably should have been done then.
he wasn't even.
I understand, I didn't say he should have done it then. I said it should have
The
been done.
the elected
Yeah.
official.
Whatever. The budget should have reflected that then.
It should have been done a lot longer ago than October.
Probably so. But if this has already been figured into the budget, and the money has already been
waive for the retirement and FICA and insurance and what have you.
It'd be a no change.
It's no change to the budget, and it's a change. You're talking merit raise here. She merits this raise.
Her position merits that.
Well, I think her
Combined with the experience.
28 years of service too.
She does.
So that particular individual, once again, merit raises are then tied to the individual.
I think it's something that we could put under consideration.
So do you actually want to just supplement her, create a new position at that rate?
I think
There's the question.
I think what you say, what it says wrong in
Do
dispatcher
you
right there.
want, do you want to supplement Teresa, or do you want to create a new position at that rate?
Well, where her line is right there, we gotta do that SUP on it, or supervisor.
Yeah, like all the other
With
lines,
that changing category.
I think it
You
needs
have
to
a
be
suit
a
like a-
position in its own.
a supervisor position under each department of the SO.
But you'll be listed as dispatcher.
Yeah, instead of
Right.
7 dispatchers, because she's paid out that line, it'd be 6 dispatchers, and move her salary to another line and title it dispatch supervisor.
Where she,
Create that position, that needs to be done, but,
That was my initial concern.
so,
I mean, honestly, if you just take that $2,500 out of there and put it to hers, and then you take FICA and everything else out of it, what
Well,
are you
it's
giving
already
about
figured,
$500 raise?
it's already figured into the lines.
Or you can just change the part-time.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Or just move 2,500 down for this year, and next year change it to a supervisor.
I think
Whatever.
that's- Yeah, I think that's something we should consider a little bit before we do that. I believe.
We're setting a precedent on to do this.
Don't still go up before that starting to do it. Can change in the middle of the budget year on that employee thing, but I don't think we should. It should be,
they should, they just give her stuff until the budget.
I don't know if that may, I don't know if we can do that, we may, but
I don't see why you just can't buy her out of that line item with some part-time till the end of the year.
Because she's not part-time?
If you work half the time then.
You didn't hear that.
I mean, Ann could increase her salary by that amount, and what we do is just move that 25 down into that dispatch line when we need it at the end. We're not gonna need it for a
And
while.
then make the change at budget time.
That's y'all.
If we can legally do
Well, you
it.
need to bring the case for changing that to us at budget time. Yes, sir.
I'll be involved in it this year. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's-
Like to see that budget be a little more stable rather than as fluid as it has been in the past.
Understood.
Lou, we'll table that till a future date, and I'll move that. We do so and, take that under consideration at some date in the future. Undetermined at this time.
I just don't know why you just couldn't move it.
I mean, it's our money, just like y'all said earlier, to move around. Why can't we just go ahead and supplement it now and then make those changes in budget time?
It's not your right to move around at your discretion.
We approved it on that line, and we need to.
You can make that as a request, but you can't just move it around at your discretion.
That's what I'm doing, making the request.
understand. I really think we need to revisit this pretty quickly.
Okay.
Let's give it 30 days. And discuss it again for just discussion.
First meeting in, February is what day? 9.
And let's get some clarity in our heads about what it's gonna do and how it's gonna do it.
Okay, I move that we table till February the 9th.
Well, I need to be present for that.
Yeah.
That's the first day of the Arnold Beers trial, and I'll deal with it.
Okay, we have a motion by myself, and a second by Commissioner Rogers to table this issue for the February 9th agenda. All in favor? Carried 5.
Thank you.
We'll discuss that one more time. Okay, item number 17. Consider burn restrictions. Does anybody want to do anything regarding burn restrictions? Yeah.
We do that status quo.
They like we are.
No action. Is there any other item that might need to be brought up, back up the agenda or mentioned, or? I know, Jimmy, you had something there that I didn't have in the packet with regard to
The thought.
indigenous burial of cremation. What was that other, another item, oh, historical commission. Historical commission will be on the next agenda. I talked with Susan Smith and put together the roster. They're gonna have an election of officers, she'll present that all. We'll have it at least in our documentation for January the 22nd, I believe.
Sounds to me like they're a lot more passionate than what they have been in the past.
Yeah.
Good, thank you.
Put it back together, maybe a little more expensive. But anyway, they're, sounds like they're doing good with regard to what they're supposed to do. Anything else that we need to consider?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Have a motion by Commissioner Wiley, or second by Commissioner Rogers, to adjourn, all in favor? Aye. I'll count that as being passed. Very good.
Here on the green thing for the
No. Oh, yours is none. Well, I guess no news is good news.